We close up shop here with the great Al Michaels, who will call Super Bowl 52 on NBC. First of all, thank you for what you did for the opening, our Super Bowl opening. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Okay. If we can, if Dawn is in our truck, she can roll this just so you can see your cameo appearance in the opening of our Super Bowl coverage. What happened was we made it seem like we're ice fishing.
Right.
And
that part I've seen. Yeah, they showed me that when I did.
Yes.
I did my part.
And then I would put, like Paulie loves Walter Payton. I put Walter Payton's jersey on a hook and then put it down there and pulled him up. McLovin with the jersey for him. And then for you, I put a sports Emmy on my hook and then put it down in the hole. And then all of a sudden I pull up Al Michaels. Look how clean you are. You got your sport coat on. You're looking good. You got the Emmy, and then you walk off, and that's it right there. That's well done. Well done. Quite the actor.
Take 37, I gotta tell you.
How long did it take for you to shoot that?
22 minutes and 14 seconds.
I like that. I did promise you 30 minutes or less. I think Paulie did. 30 minutes or less.
He lived up to whatever he said. A lot of fun. Dan, for you, anything.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Al. How much prep work do you do this week leading up to the game?
You know, our prep work is like all year long.
Yeah.
It's not. We don't know who's going to be in the Super Bowl. We knew, obviously, that it was our year. We just stay abreast of the league. It's not as if you really over-prepare for this because we prepare like crazy for every Sunday night game. You know, we have Fred Godelli as our producer, so he leaves no stone unturned, and we're armed to the teeth for every Sunday night game. We treat every Sunday night game like a mini Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you can over-prepare for this game, but we've had these teams 3 times each this year. Philadelphia 3 times from, I think, late November on. So we know the teams. We know the stories. What you really do is you go back over your notes and things that you might want to talk about. But Dan, the whole key to doing the game is let the game begin, let the game start, and let the game take you to where the game is. Because we'll go in there with 18 gazillion stories, but most of them are going to wind up, as they say in television or in the movies, on the cutting room floor. People don't want to hear about things that are not germane to the game, so that's the key.
Well, sometimes you're trying to force an element into the game.
Correct.
And whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And the audience can almost feel that. Like, what's this have to do? Hey, I got this great story. We're getting this great story in the game.
No question about that. I mean, I've always said it through my career. I look at the game. The game is a melody. We're providing the lyrics. So if you have a beautiful melody and the lyrics are off center, it's cacophonous. So you want the lyrics to blend with the melody. And, you know, the great thing, I've worked with Chris now for 9 years and Michelle as well. And we've got, obviously a fantastic crew. We know where to go with this stuff. It's like, if you don't go far astray. Some of the greatest stories I've ever had and that have not been told was stuff we just couldn't jam in. You don't want to do that. You don't want to, jam that square peg into a round hole.
I was mentioning this story about the call that you had, this Seattle-New England Super Bowl, and that to know that that's Malcolm Butler who's knifing in to make the interception. And I believe there was a play 2 plays prior where Malcolm Butler was. So Malcolm Butler might have been in the back of your mind, or at least his number attached to his name, and that helped you in the immediacy of that call.
No question about it. The other thing, too, is that the way that he makes the play from where our booth is, I can see his number, too. It's not as if he comes in from the other side, where if you have a jam job in there, you don't know. So, you say it, and then within maybe a tenth of a second, I look down at, Kelly Hayes is my spotter, and he's got the finger on Butler. So that's one of those moments where, you just pray you're right. Because if you're wrong, they just play it back for these days. You never live it down over and over and over and over and over.
Explain your spotter, though, how close they are to you. And if somebody makes a play, he's pointing to their number or their name.
Yeah, that's part of what Kelly does. And Kelly's been with me for almost my whole career. We go back to college football in the late 70s, and George Hill, my statistician. So, I mean, I've had the same people who are fantastic. It's not only identifying people, but it's also if somebody comes into the game or comes out of the game or somebody gets hurt. There are a lot of things that Kelly would do to get my attention drawn to it because you can't see everything at once, but he's kind of watching. I mean, somebody limps off the field, you might miss it. He's got it, that sort of thing. So he's invaluable. We have a whole crew. I mean, listen, we've all worked together for so many years. It's hand in glove. It really is.
You've been vocal about replay, that it's not called instant replay anymore.
Oh,
it's called replay.
Right.
And also, what's a catch? So it feels like you're fed up now. Like I can hear it in your voice where you're audible in saying, oh, yeah, some shocker. You know, when they go, and here's the call on the field.
I think I speak for the fans in that regard.
You do.
The fans hate this thing. Who wants a 4.5-minute review? We had one of those in the Falcon-Ram wild card game where you could see that the punt touched the Ram player, and then Atlanta recovers it. But there was a 2-minute discussion on the field. And then at the end of that discussion, Ed Hockley said, we're reviewing the play. Wait a minute. They've just reviewed it for 2 minutes. So we go to a commercial. There's another 2.5 minutes. And we come back and what are they looking at here? This is so obvious. And then Ed came back on the mic and, said what the situation was, which we had been saying for 4 minutes. And I couldn't resist. I said, "No kidding." So they've got to figure out a way to speed. I think they will too, because this is getting out of hand.
But the commissioner's not even sure what a catch is.
I mean,
why?
They're going to end a Super Bowl. I'm telling you, if they're not careful, you're going to have a crazy. The confetti's going to come down, and now there's going to be a 25-minute delay to get the confetti off the field because the call's going to be overturned. That's the worst scenario.
But you had Brady last year. How awkward is it that you not sure if it's an official touchdown to win the Super Bowl, and Brady is saying, hey, hold off. Matt Ryan's there to congratulate him. He's like, hold off. I don't even know if this is a touchdown.
Correct.
So we're not getting that spontaneity of you just won the Super Bowl.
No, and they're trying to make it quick. As I say, what if they would have said, no, White didn't get into the end zone? The other thing is, in the Stephon Diggs catch here, a couple of weeks ago against New Orleans, clearly he's in bounds. I mean, it's an unbelievable play where, the tackle is missed, but Diggs has the presence of mind to stay in bounds. You see a couple of replays. It took him 2 or 3 minutes to confirm that?
I know.
Like, why?
I know.
What in the world were you possibly looking at? And we heard that, they wanted to get a bunch of eyes on it or whatever the hell that means. I don't know what that means. But, I mean, there was no question. It's going to take away – it just takes away from the game itself. You can't have these 4 or 5 minute delays. You can't.
Well, what would do you believe in miracles have been now? I mean, it's do you believe in miracles? We're not sure.
We're not sure.
Hold on.
Right.
Well, we'll be back in 4 minutes.
We'll be back.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it, Al.
Yeah, the great thing is our sales department could probably sell that spot for $5 million or $30 million. So they'd be pretty happy about that.
Do you believe in miracles?
Hold on. Yeah.
I don't know.
Not quite.
Yes.
Back after these messages.
We'll come back. We'll close up shop here. Final 15 minutes with Al Michaels. We'll be back after this in the Dan Patrick Show. Al is still with us. We appreciate that. And as we get ready for Super Bowl 52, do you get nervous? Describe your emotions right before that kickoff.
You can't wait for it to start. It's a long day. We'll be there for, probably 4 hours before the game. So, you keep looking at the clock, and I want it to be, I think it's 5 o'clock local time that we come on for the pregame show. There's a certain amount of anxiousness, I think, more than nervousness. Like, let's get it started.
When's the last time you were nervous?
Probably last week. No, it's not a nervousness so much as it is an anxiousness. Let's go. I want the countdown to start. Let's make it happen. You try not to make yourself nervous. Probably like the players. You can feel it. There are butterflies, but let's get going. And once you get going, you've been there before. I think I've done pretty close to 700 professional football games. So, like the players say, once they take that, first hit, okay, they're in the game. So, Chris and I whack each other in the ribs, and away we go.
How many Super Bowls?
This is 10.
Best one?
I would say 43, Arizona, Pittsburgh. It had two unbelievable plays, iconic plays. James Harrison's 100-yard interception return, Santonio Holmes' catch. Arizona, what are they doing there? Larry Fitzgerald's having a postseason for the ages. They almost won the game. 49 would be New England against Seattle. The Butler interception at the end of the game. But I've done, I did the St. Louis, Tennessee game where Dyson gets stopped at the 1-yard line at the end. Norwood misses the field goal in Super Bowl 25. That would be another one. And we had Giants against the Patriots back in 11. People forget that game ended with Brady launching one of the end zone. Gronkowski is there. Otherwise, that game ends with kind of a miracle finish. So,
have you had a blowout?
I've had 3 of them, yes. Denver against Washington in 87, which was 10-0 Denver at the end of the quarter, first quarter, and then 35-10 Washington. Doug Williams had a phenomenal day. That was a blowout. San Francisco, San Diego in 94. 49ers won at 49-26, and they were favored by like 18.
Steve Young,
6 touchdown passes. And then Tampa Bay against Oakland in 02, where John Gruden had taken over for Tony Dungy. And they won the game in San Diego. The game tried to get close but couldn't. So 5 have gone down to the end. I've had 3 that are routes. 1, which was the game in Detroit in 05, which was Pittsburgh and Seattle, which kept bordering on being good. So I'm hitting 5. If I'm a baseball player, I'm hitting 550.
You're doing well.
556.
Yeah.
Going down. That's all you want. Before the game begins, you just say, let's get a great game. You know what John Madden used to say to me before we did 3 Super Bowls together? Give me a little fist bump. He'd say, let's go out and make a memory. And part of making that memory is the game is good.
McLovin, final results of our poll question brought to you by Man vs. Food on Travel Channel.
Whose career would you want if today's guests, Drew Brees, J.J. Watt, Eli Manning? By far the winner, Al Michaels.
Yeah, you made the poll question today.
Really?
Yes.
Whose career would you like to have?
Yeah, you had 48% of the vote. Drew Brees is 22% of the vote.
I don't have to get sacked.
Would you rather have your career or Drew Brees's?
I'm not going to give up my career for any. Are you kidding me? I've been blessed. Now, Brees has had a fantastic
What
career.
about Brady?
I'll take mine. I don't get hit. What more do you want? And I've been able to do this since I'd
take your
minor
career.
league baseball in 1968.
Al, I would take your career.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'd all take your career.
But
I'd take your life. I mean, I wouldn't take your life. I would like to have your life.
we have that on the record.
Yes,
boys.
McLovin, what did you learn today?
Rutledge Wood questioned Junior's athleticism.
Yes, he did.
Really?
Yes, he did. Rutledge Wood is nasty, man. He stabs people in the back. Poor Junior. Fritzy, what did you learn?
You expect Tom Brady will throw at least 50 times on Sunday.
Yes, I do. Seton O'Connor.
Eli Manning can dunk.
Yeah, he used to be able to. Yeah. Paulie, what'd you learn?
I didn't learn it, but I know it. Al Michaels will be eating steak tonight.
Al, it's great to see you.
Probably.
Thank you for stopping by as always.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.